Hello, I'm meteorologist Rob Carlmark here with ABC 10 on our Plus channel, and we're going to update you with all of the things that we've seen because everything came together in the middle of the night with rain, with snow. It was a horrendous drive in the morning for many folks, but now we're in a lull, and then we're going to start to see some changes as we move into the afternoon, and we're adding more rain chances to the forecast as we go through Saturday. We even got another one on Monday, so we'll keep it into the near term here. The headline really is that there's two main storm periods that we're focused on. Of course, today, which started right around midnight, and then we've got another one on Saturday. These weekends, any weekend, frankly, is very important, but weekends closer and closer to Christmas and even after Christmas become very crucially important just because of all the events that are planned. Almost all of them have some outdoor element. Either it's getting there or getting back or actually happening outdoors. Let's say the Old Sacramento Christmas Show is one, or the Santa Parade in Sacramento, or the Woodland Parade, right, which is supposed to be 4 p.m. on Saturday. All could be affected by the next system. But getting through our Thursday, we've seen the early rain, and notice that we have a sun icon here because we are in a moment where we're going to see some partial clearing. Then it's going to come back. A pretty big range of rain just because it's so narrowly focused, most of it happening in the middle of the night. Once you get to the upper foothills, you are looking at an inch plus of rain. Valley floor about an inch of rain. Then depending on where you are, it could be less than that. About 4 to 12 inches of snow, which always is going to create chain control opportunities. And backing up the radar to earlier this morning, that main band really did produce some very steady, heavy rain, a ton of car crashes and spinouts, and I'll talk about why that happened a little bit later on. But then you start to see it move into the Sierra, where it has a much easier time with the lift, we call it orographic lift, to continue to see the more steady showers along with snow. So with this system in particular, these were the things that I was most focused on and how it affects people, your impacts. Now, if this were a huge atmospheric river or two in a row, then this list would be loaded up with flooding, with river rises, with all sorts of things, maybe in the mountains, avalanche concerns, but this is very specific to this kind of system. My major concern, certainly through the morning, was driving. Let me tell you something, on any given day, driving is dangerous. You throw in Sacramento drivers, and it's even extra dangerous. Then you throw in some wet roads and ponding, either caused by drain clogs or just the sheer amount of rain happening at the moment, and you get a lot of spinouts, and that's what we saw. Then you have, because it's on a Thursday, what's going on with school, what's going on with work, what's the plan since the showers are coming back. Jacket, umbrella, boots, good to go. You can handle light rain in the afternoon. And then driving in the Sierra all day long, snow, you're looking at some issues. I want to point out one thing that's changed very quickly in the overnight hours. Air quality, good in San Francisco and the Bay Area, good for Tahoe, good for the lower foothills, and even in the valley, which has struggled for about 2 weeks with very poor air quality, dramatically getting better and very likely to continue to get better and move into the green category by the time this system is done and what we have coming up this weekend. Temperatures are going to be cold all day long. We're only looking at mostly 40s and 50s for most of your day. That's a cold storm. Sometimes, if it's a very strong atmospheric river with a lot of southerly component, you'll see temps in the 60s. You'll see very high snow levels. This is a cold one, and it's going to be cold temperatures. Doesn't warm up very much, some cloud cover in between, and lower snow levels through much of the middle of the day, right around 5,000 feet, if not lower at times. So just moving around the radar from the middle of the day, it's mostly just lingering snow. It's lingering light rain below 5,000 feet or so. It's a continuing situation that doesn't really change throughout much of the day. That's why there's a winter weather advisory till 4 p.m. But for the rest of the area, it's all about partial clearing, a few clouds here and there, cleaning up the leaves, moving on with a midday break from the system, and then we're going to get ready for round 2 later today. So again, your biggest impact at the moment through the rest of your Thursday will be the continued light to moderate snow in the mountains, continuing to keep all those issues in place. Snow-covered roads, chain controls, long commutes, and the potential for spinouts as well. The next round moves in the middle of the day, and it could have some pockets with some decent rain. This is the post-cold front instability, where you actually need a little bit of breaks in the clouds to get the warming process going, to get the lift going, and then all of a sudden these clouds start to grow and then become brand new showers. So that's going to be the case, excuse me, for the rest of today. Even after sunset, we're just in this unsettled wet pattern, and you know what this looks like, and you know what it feels like. It's just these gray, drizzly days and these evenings that are cold and wet and damp, and that's what we've got. The middle of the night, it clears up, but then we're going to have cloudy skies. And then during the day on Friday, we'll be teased with thick clouds and moments of some light showers. For the rest of today and tomorrow, we'll end up with likely, I would say, 1/4 to 1/2 inch of those showers, adding up to a little bit more rain in the bucket. As far as your snowfall potential, yeah, there's a little bit more when you add everything up from beginning to end. These are solid amounts of rain and snow, and that's why it's become a weather impact alert for your Thursday for the valley spots as well as the Sierra. We also have another one of these very impactful days on Saturday, and the totals are about the same, likely a little more for snow, but it's in the middle of the day for all the daylight hours on a weekend close to a holiday, so very impactful for a lot of people doing things. The impacts is essentially just more of the same, rain and snow, but it's the timing, it's the wet roads, it's getting around on a weekend, and events that maybe have to have some changes or may even be canceled due to the rain. It all depends on the event. Now, getting back to what happened early this morning when it was really wet out there and a lot of heavy rain. The rain falls on the road. It is engineered to shed water to either edge of it where there are drains. During leaf season, or if some garbage, a trash bag, clogs the drain, the water cannot drain, so it starts to creep out either into the slow lane and often for freeways into the fast lane as well. Then what happens is as cars are driving, part of the vehicle interacts with this puddle. It slows down half the vehicle, essentially 2 of the tires start to go slower. The other 2 maintain their speed because they're not as impacted by the water, and then you veer into where the puddle is and the ponding. In the slow lane, they tend to spin out off the road. In the fast lane, they tend to spin out into the barrier, and we saw dozens of these early on Thursday, the same exact scenario. Now, perhaps it was speed, perhaps it was inattentive driving, perhaps it was just straight up an accident, but it's very likely that rain played some role in many of those crashes, considering they were labeled spinouts by the CHP because of the water on the road. With that said, look for that same thing to happen with more rain chances as we get into Saturday. If you want a break from all this, Sunday is your day. It is going to be another cold one. We've got another round on Monday. Then after that, we start to see a drying process as we get close to the next weekend before Christmas.